All right, so this is my first time doing live. So shout out to the software if it's working. My name is Sot, the host of the foundation. So I would like to welcome you. This is the foundation, and we are High Frequency Radio Network, where we understand incorrect information incorrectly applied can get you hurt. Correct information incorrectly applied can get you hurt. That's why we are always correctly applying that correct information here at the foundation. Check it out. This is my first time on YouTube, y'all. I want to start off by saying all thanks, honors, and praises due to the Creator. And I want to, definitely big up my spiritual big brother, Yusuf L, the uncle of the conscious community, in my opinion. High Frequency Radio Network creator. SPCUniversity.com if you're looking to do your SPC dance. And as always, I want to welcome you to check out Welcome to the Foundation.com. Make sure you sign up for that email list. The link is in the description. I never thought I'd be saying that. I hate hearing that. But there it is. Sign up for the email list. Exclusive, offers, content, event, invitations. Make sure you check out the PDF section at welcometothefoundation.com. Free dance. You got the education section. We got the Foundation Trust Primer. If you're new to this dance, maybe this is your first time hearing about trust or hearing about any of that stuff, taking it seriously, I suggest you check that out. Over 18 handpicked documents by yours truly. So, that's at welcometothefoundation.com. Also, we got the Foundation Trust Primer, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Beginner, intermediate, and I would say advanced. These are actual, videos. So it's visual and audio. Definitely have Black's Law Dictionary definitions, Supreme Court case citations. It's weird. But check out that, Foundation Trust series at welcometothefoundation.com. Also, that PP, Passport No Social, PP, and SSN. Part 1, Part 2. Part 1 is how you get it. Part 2, how you use it. Shout out to Chris L for sharing that information with the foundation. Also, you can find our Instagram, our Twitter, all the social media, so on and so forth. Check it out. And obviously, you know where the YouTube is if you're checking this out. The Blog Talk couldn't even go live. I was forced into this position. Shout out to the people in the chat. I want to say peace to all the listeners. If you're listening live, so I want to say peace. You're checking out the show or the episode, however you want, you know what I'm saying? I want to say peace to anyone who's checking this out in the future on the archive, MP3, internet, however you're checking it out. Peace to all the trustees here in private trustee training. Peace to everyone and anyone that has come in contact with this foundation over these past 8 years. And we're going to get into the show. Today's show is entitled Knowledge of the Elite. So, we're going to jump into that. We're going to jump straight into that. Current events is already available. You can check the channel. It's already up for today, and I think I put at least one show. So we're getting caught up. We're doing the dance. All right, so here at the foundation, our mission is to reestablish, the education or the foundation of education with regards to business specifically. And, how we are able to do business regardless of what we know, regardless of what we understand. And these things, that I discuss, these things that I talk about, you can definitely do your own research, look them up, prove me wrong, please. I'm live. I've been live on different platforms for 8 years. And now I'm live here. So I encourage and I appreciate, what is it called? Debate, respectful debate. So when I'm talking about knowledge of the elite, I want to discuss the things that, the elite know, what they're taught, and what we're not taught, and ultimately how we can use and utilize this information for ourselves. So with that being said, when I talk about the elite, I speak specifically on those elite in society. Obviously have a lot of wealth, but specifically they have a lot of knowledge that, the typical average, what you would call citizen, doesn't have. So with that being said, let me jump into it, So when it comes to knowledge, there's things that we are taught and then there's things that we are not taught. And to understand that, you got to understand the history of the public education system and understand whom built the public education system, who financed it, and, really get into the what I would say, the impetus, the purpose of the public education system. And I'm not going to get into that right now. I have done shows on that before. I will do episodes on that in the future. But this information that we're not taught, we're oblivious to. And most of the people that we come in contact with every day, whether it's in business or it's in school, they share the same economic status as us. And I want you to, think about that. Most people that we come in contact with on a day-to-day basis share the same economic status as we do. So it's not, in my opinion, irrational to presume that we in our social economic, circles have knowledge and, so different socio-economic circles have different knowledge. I mean, it has to be so. So, and for me, it's important to understand what I don't know. It's important to seek out, knowledge of things that I'm ignorant of. And specifically this knowledge that can benefit me and benefit my family. That's the most important for me. And then also I kind of see the way things are going, and ultimately, this is what I can do to help, This is what I can do to help. There's not very many things that I can do, on a national or international level that can assist a family or one to understand not only the commercial system that they deal with every day and how specifically they have been dealing in this commercial system every day from a disadvantaged position. So let's talk about this knowledge of the elite. First and foremost, they, and when I say they, the elite, and I'm not mad at them. I'm not throwing shame. I'm not saying we mobilize against them. I believe in free will and choice. and as long as no one's coming at me or mine, I have no problem with them. I really don't. So I'm just saying I can observe something in another space and appreciate it and, strive for that as well, fairly. And I want to be clear on that. Like, I have no problem. Like, I'm not against elite. I'm not against people with money. I don't hate landlords. It's fundamentally, to me, it's immature for me, but that's all, so excuse me, the elite, they know they are not individuals. That's what I'm gonna say right now. They know they are not individuals. They know it. They understand that the individual is a separate, distinct, legal entity. They understand that. And I suggest, if you don't, that you should check it out. And people will say, where do I start? Start by reading the instructions for the 1040. That's where I would start. I would start, but they know they're not an individual, and most do not use the individual. Most of them do not, and they for sure do not earn income with the individual. That's hands down. That's what it is. So that's a particular look, and I'll get into it in a second. But as far as I'm concerned, the individual is the worst structure that you can utilize to earn income with. We'll call it income. I'll call it money. We'll call it money. It's currency. Let's call it money. In my opinion, and I'm not an attorney. I can't give legal advice. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not any public anything. I have no, certifications, degrees, nothing. No licenses, anything. This is straight up opinion. And those of you who have checked me out for years understand that, I'm speaking straight opinion. But I feel like I have to say that. But in my opinion, the individual is the worst. I mean, like, who do I make the check out to? And you say the name of the individual? Oh, man. I feel like that's the worst structure to, generate income with, just like that. So they understand that. They don't use it. They may use it in special circumstances, but, and I'm not going to say they don't use it ever. I'm just going to say, special circumstances, but ultimately, definitely not to earn income. The next one is, they know what real money is. Hands down. They understand depreciation. They understand depreciation of currency and how it chops away at the purchasing power. You can have the same $100 today, buy something, and then you take $100 and put it in a shoebox and wait 5 years and try to buy the same thing and see if you can. That's inflation, aka depreciation of purchasing power of the currency. So they know what real money is. They never. The elite never save in cash. They never do that. They never save in cash or any dollar denominated asset. Savings, come on, man, that's different. Currency, investment, okay. Savings, you got a savings account and there's dollars in it. One of the other reasons is, I'm gonna tell you the truth. We get upset when we hear the truth. Sometimes we get upset, and most people don't want to deal with that. But if I told you that you're silly for saving, and I'll say you got a checking account, you say yes, and I say how much money you got? I have $250,000 in there, and I'm like, ooh, you're stupid. Well, I mean, not stupid. Well, that's how about that? How about that is not responsible. That is very irresponsible of you. What do you mean it's irresponsible? This is $250,000. I got $250,000 in there. How dare you speak to me like that? No, I'm serious. It is irresponsible, in my opinion. Now, short-term savings, you're going to buy a car in a couple of months or a year or so, so on and so forth, man. Come on. I get it. And I do it too. But long-term savings? For what? What's the problem? And they never purchase depreciating assets. And you would be like, well, how do they get cars? The car is a depreciating asset. I will tell you straight up, their businesses purchase depreciating assets and they write them off on the business and they depreciate them on the business for tax advantages. Let me say that again. Their businesses purchase depreciating assets, for write-offs and depreciation. They depreciate the asset. Look it up. Look it up what an LLC or a corporation can do with an asset. Depreciation. Look up depreciation. I'm not lying, but I'm not giving you legal advice either. So when I say they never, absolutely never purchase depreciating assets, I'm telling you the truth. You see them riding around these cars and whatever, I'm telling you, it's owned by a trust or it's being leased by some sort of business or corporation or it's owned by a corporation, but typically they lease them. Like they'll buy a fleet of, let's say they, I don't know, it's plumbers or, IT workers and they got multiple teams that go out and they'll buy a fleet, they'll finance those. But, I'm serious. Company cars, the executive company cars owned by the business, those aren't personal expenses, man. I promise you. The next thing, they don't flash. They're not flashy. They don't show their wealth. They don't. Unless it's good for business purposes. And even then it's like, it's a dress up. And they don't make unsound investments. It's something that just doesn't happen. It's absolutely, you don't lose money. First rule of investing, do not lose money. I know that for a fact. So as far as these different points are concerned, I don't know how many of them that you were aware of. And if you were aware of all of them, man, wow. Hey, and I'm not being sarcastic. That's what's up. I respect that. Because, this stuff, it's granular. That's the word, granular. They acquire private education and keep it in their families. I'm going to say it again. They acquire private education and they keep that knowledge within their families. I'm telling you, they're not, it's not something where, a father or a mother, right? Let's say, they acquire some private education. It costs money. It costs $10,000, $15,000. You would be surprised how much private education costs sometimes, depending on what you're looking to, learn. But they acquired some private education. It was an expense to them personally, or it was expense to the family, the estate. Do you think they're freely just handing that out, just telling everybody? No, they acquired that for their family, and they teach their family, and they tell their family to only teach their family. And some of the stuff gets out, obviously, but they don't want you as competition. They just want you as an employee. Invite you to the dinners, you can hang out and stuff like that, but as soon as you become competition, I promise you the relationship will change. The relationship will change. They don't want you as competition. They want you as employees. They want you to work their machine, work their businesses, so that business can buy them a company car. This is knowledge of the elite. I'm not playing with you. And they are properly structured through trust and private family foundations. One of the biggest, in my opinion, is an entrepreneur. One of the biggest, goals of an entrepreneur is to start a business, right? To get their company, to get, to get their company and to get, their bank account and start doing their dance, right? What would you say if I told you that was irresponsible? It's irresponsible. It's irresponsible in the sense that there are better moves, more financially sound moves, just in the inception of a business that 100% would be much more beneficial for your family, for yourself and your family. And I would say what I consider reaching for, a corporation. I got my corporation and stuff. It's a valiant. I respect it, but it's due to lack of knowledge, because there are structures that exist that that aren't public, that are recognized to do business in the United States. And people say, what does that mean, man? And ultimately what that means is, how if you're familiar with business, and if you're not, check it out. You have to go to a Secretary of State of any state to organize an LLC or a corporation or a partnership or whatever that, and they give you, these documents and, a Secretary of State seal on it, and, you pay the fee and stuff, and then you got a corporation, you got an LLC, and then you contact the Internal Revenue Service, IRS. Typically you can do it online. It's really simple. And you get an EIN for the LLC. And you're in business. You're in business. And some people know that, some people don't. There's some things that go along with that, afterwards. But, this is not the time nor the place for that discussion. But you have your LLC organization document, or you got your corporate your corporate LLC, your corporation document, organization document. And you got an EIN from the IRS. And now you can open up a bank account, right? What if I told you that there's another way to do that, and it's 100% legal, and you won't go to feds, you won't go to jail, I'm not going to give you legal advice. And you know how at the Secretary of State, you got to pay a fee, and then every year you got to renew it, and you got to pay a fee, and what I've told you, you ain't got to do that. What if I told you there's no fees with regards to, the state Secretary of State, and you can still get an EIN, and you can still open a bank account? This is knowledge of the elite. And you file the tax returns, and, everything goes, honky-dory, whistling Dixie. Like nothing ever happened, and no one says anything to anyone unless they know. Because why would I talk to you about it? Hey, man, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what? What do you mean? What? What? What did you, what? So it's not worth it. It's not really worth it. This is why this information isn't really, taught. And there's many reasons why this information isn't taught. But that's one of them. You're not going to hear too much of this stuff because, number one, a lot of this stuff doesn't come free. And number two, what is going to be your reaction? What are you going to do? What are you going to say? How are you going to behave, when ultimately your reality is challenged? Because that's what it comes down to. Your reality is being challenged. But yeah, and a lot of people, have passion, which is very admirable, noble, respectable. And they want to get involved in charity work, and they want to start a nonprofit, and they want to move in a charitable way, and they go file a corporation or an LLC at the Secretary of State level, and then they get an EIN, and then they go through all these hoops to get a tax exempt status from the IRS. Sometimes I think they gotta wait 2 years. You have to operate 2 years before you can apply for tax exempt status. It might be 3. I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice. Look it up. I might be crazy, man. I might be over here sipping crazy juice and just jumping on the internet. So I would definitely 100% look into that. But what if I told you that the elite those with elite knowledge, and I'm telling you, the elite knowledge holders. What if I told you that they don't have to operate for 2 years for their charities? That they typically get their tax-exempt letter within 45 days. And that can be 45 days of actually creating the nonprofit. It's called a private family foundation. You can look into those too. But there's different knowledge that goes along with it. There's specific structures that go along with it. And, that's what we're all about here at the foundation. That's what we're all about. So that's just some information I wanted to share with y'all. Thank you for checking me out. Thank you for, rocking with me and holding my hand. First YouTube live stream. And y'all be sure to check out next week. I think I'm just going to keep doing this. If y'all say it's what's up, we're going to just keep doing this. Welcome to thefoundation.com. We have our private side. We're calling it the private side. It's the, private invite only access to the membership area of the foundation at welcome to thefoundation.com. You can email me, admin at welcome to thefoundation.com. Just how it sounds. Foundation. And, request an invite. I will personally send you an invite. Also, we got the Foundation magazine. Link in the description if you want to grab that. We got digital and print. It's magnificent. It almost feels like it is out of the foundation league. It's like if I didn't know any better, I feel like we stole this from somebody that was doper than us or something. But all jokes aside, the Foundation magazine is really dope. Shout out to D. I'm just gonna say D. Putting it down. So make sure you check that out. We have trustee training available. Multiple ways you can get your hands on that. The easiest, and I guess would be the most economical way, would be to get an invite to the private side of the foundation, get your membership squared away, and then sign up for the silver tier. And that's, what is that? $500 to sign up, and I think $5 a month or something. $9.99 a month, or I can't remember exactly. I think it's $9.99 a month. So it's I'm adding lessons to that minimum one every 60 days. I just added one 2 days ago. Opening private trust checking accounts. So you could do that, or you can all the way to having me train you myself. So there's a lot of different options to learn how to administer trusts, and I suggest that it's something that you get into. It's some nerdy stuff, sure, if you say so, but it's the best thing that you can do for yourself and your family. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. But if you feel me, if what I'm saying resonates with you, you should email me, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. And be sure to, check out the YouTube where you are right now, obviously. But appreciate you checking out the show, or, the episode, the knowledge of the elite. I'll catch y'all next week. Y'all enjoy yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you say 10 things that you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight and every night, because it's very important. And